After a couple thousand miles, I decided to let go of the KTM 890 Adventure. Was that the right decision? And what's coming up next? Let's talk about that in today's video. That being said, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. If this is your first time stopping by. This is the Omega Greedy YouTube channel. We do a whole bunch of things related to off-roading, adventuring, motorcycling, travel trailering, and just adventure automotive lifestyle. So if you like that type of content, check out the channel, subscribe for more. But yeah, the KTM 890 Adventure, I had it on the channel for a couple of months. We bought that back on the East Coast. Brought it all the way back with us from Buffalo, New York, down to Southern California with the travel trailer. Yeah, it was a great motorcycle. If you saw my last video, I was talking about some of my complaints with the bike and like frustrations. So I want to really talk about why I ended up selling the KTM, and I did get something different, which you'll see is over here. First and foremost, I do want to say I'm not speaking badly on the motorcycle. I think the KTM 890 Adventure is a still great motorcycle, and yeah, it's the main reason why I spent my hard-earned money on it and bought it. First, I do want to say, apologize. I know this lighting is not optimal. Sound may not be optimal, but we'll see. I just want to switch to a different camera today. So really, the main reason why I bought the motorcycle was because I love the tech, the performance, the styling, and just, I don't know, just the lifestyle of a adventure motorcycle. I love the ability to be able to go on road, off road, and still be able to do long trips with it. It'd be comfortable. You have all of the tech features and things like that that really drew me into wanting to get the Adventure motorcycle just in general. I was looking at the Adventure 390 and then looking at the 890, and I winded up going with the 890 along with some other motorcycles as well, which I talked about on the channel. If you want to see, like, I compared a couple other adventure motorcycles and things like that, they're on the channel. But really the big thing that drew me into the KTM 890 Adventure was I wanted a motorcycle that could be my end-all be-all motorcycle, that I can go anywhere. Like, my goal was and still is to go to Alaska at one point in time on a motorcycle. I still want to do it on a motorcycle, and also I want to do it, you know, with the truck and trailer. I think that's like an ultimate like bucket list goal of mine. And I wanted a motorcycle that I can go on long distance trips with, so I can drive up to, you know, go up in Arizona, go into Vegas, go up into Northern California and do stuff like that, and do camping just off of the motorcycle. So you're probably still wondering, why in the world did I sell it if it was such a great motorcycle? It's like my dream bike and everything like that. Well, a couple of different things that started happening. The motorcycle itself, I started noticing some issues with it. Even back when we were on the East Coast, I noticed immediately when I was on the highway going above like 75, no, even like 70 to 75 miles per hour, it was having really bad front end wobble, like almost death wobble. And I talked about this on the channel, talked about this in my last video and everything like that, but just to reiterate really quickly, this is an issue that some people have been claiming, and it's like something that if like you won't even notice it unless you own the motorcycle yourself and you're driving with it. I was having some front end wobble. Now I tried doing a couple fixes, retorquing down the head bolt on the, I guess, the front forks. Some people were saying it could be the front tire. Some people were saying it could be the actual front forks itself. I changed the suspension. Yeah, so I tried to do a couple different things just to try to fix it, because I first noticed it when we were on the East Coast, and it was very minor out there. It was only when I hit certain highways and I was going a certain speed and try to accelerate, I felt it. But when I did feel it, it didn't feel good at all. It was like actually scary. Like, not on full-blown death wobble, but like if I didn't back off immediately, it felt like it would go into a full-on death wobble. So it was not fun, didn't really give me that confidence to be like, I can go on the highway and just cruise with the motorcycle. And like, to be totally honest, if I was in like an area like where we were, and like most times you're gonna be doing like the highest is like 70, 75, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal, because it truly was only with hard acceleration, or not even hard acceleration. Honestly, anytime I would touch that speed and just be on the highway, especially over rain grooves and things like that, which that made me think it was maybe the tires, but I don't know. I think it was like a mixture of a couple of different things. Hey, living in Southern California, it is much different out here than it is back on the East Coast and inside of other different places. The biggest thing is people drive a lot faster out here, just in general. And that is a thing that you don't want to have an issue with, is when you're driving on the highway, feeling very unstable. In general, going 75, if you're doing 75, people are passing you like left and right. In most cases, especially in Southern California, because you can lane split, a lot of times on the highway, most motorcycles drive in the far left lane. Because that's typically, when you start lane splitting, that's like the lane that you would most likely go down. Most cars are just used to you lane splitting in that lane. So yeah, driving just with normal flow of traffic over off to the left, most people are doing 80, 85, if not faster than that. Just in Southern California, just in general. This isn't just me just saying that. Look, you can listen to other automotive YouTubers and things like that, or just people in general. They'll tell you. So I was able to, with doing a couple fixes, I was able to get it better. Like I was doing a lot of that off camera because I wanted to have like a really good fix video and like explaining everything and talking about it and then saying like what I did to fix it. But yeah, I did not fix the problem completely. It got a lot better. Last time, like literally like the video that I just did when I was talking about my frustrations, I literally went out to go test it again on the highway and I was able to do like 85, but still the moment you touched it, it was like, it's pretty scary. And you don't want that to be happening if you're doing 85 miles per hour. So that led me to like not feeling as comfortable with riding the bike on the highway, and that took away I guess the whole point for myself was to be able to take that motorcycle on long stretches of time on the highway, go far and go, you know, just to use it as an adventure motorcycle. Like I wanted to take the motorcycle out, go on the highway, go to a trail, ride on the trail, then get back on the highway and drive back home. But I felt myself being like, I don't quite trust this motorcycle to go on the highway long distances, because even if it's like even if I wasn't going that fast, it never quite felt as stable. Like as in like I could like just set the cruise control and just kind of cruise on the highway. You know what I mean? It always felt like I needed to put a lot more input just to keep it kind of just steady. And then yeah, some of the other things that came up with the motorcycle, which isn't necessarily a downfall of the KTM, it's really just my love for the other motorcycles that we have on the channel. Is the bike that's behind me is the KTM 300R. Yeah, taking the KTM off-road, like the whole point of that bike for me was to go on trails. So trails that are dedicated, that you can't take a dedicated dirt bike. So, you know, stuff that you can take like a Jeep or your car or anything like that isn't like an OHV area, where it's like a dedicated trail. In most cases, you need something that has a license plate to go on them. Taking the KTM, like that was my goal. But, you know, and being real and being honest with myself, if there's one thing about me on this channel you have seen, I am 100% honest. And if something isn't, like, even if I have a great idea with something and I'm like, oh, in reality, I'm not using it the way that I thought I was going to use it, I'll tell you guys, because I'm all about sharing that experience so you can just know too. But yeah, for myself, I was finding that I didn't really like necessarily want to do that. I think if the motorcycle, if I had more confidence with riding that on the highway long stretches, I think I would do it more. But I was finding myself being like, if I were to do something, I would still probably throw it on the back of the truck and like trail it out there and then unhitch it and then do a trail. And for me, I'm thinking like doing that is fun, but like at the end of the day, I love the KTM 300R. Like this bike to me is so much fun. I like doing honestly, I think I like more of just OHV areas, places that you can go that's fully just open just to like dirt bikes and stuff like that you can just explore. At least right now, at this point in time in my life, I think I enjoy, especially with the off-roading aspect of trailering a bike out to an area and then doing the off-roading, and then when I'm done with that, come back home. And I talked about this before in like other videos on my channel, and I took the KTM out there like in the desert and stuff like that. It's still fun, it's still very doable, But for myself, I kind of really enjoy just having a separate motorcycle that is just like fully dedicated to it. The super stripped down bike that's just like 100% dedicated to that, and I could just have fun with this thing out there. Then yeah, and then like the other thing is though, it really came down to the point of, okay, the issue I was having, it was out of my hands. So it really came down to, I needed to get it like professionally serviced and professionally looked at and see what was going on. And then also doing a mention, the first major service maintenance thing was coming up with the valves. So like, I was like looking at investing a lot more money into the motorcycle to make it perfect, pretty much, which I could have done, and I did think about doing that. I was going back and forth, like, should I just, you know, wait, try to invest the money, try to just like get the bike fixed, service, see what's up, maybe try to do even more, swapping out the tires again, getting them rebalanced, see if that fixed things, and then doing the other service stuff that was like that. Or I was like, should I just cut my losses, just move on to something different? Just because especially with motorcycles, the one thing I do like about bikes is just in general, like their price is just like a lot lower versus like cars. So it's much easier to get out of one bike and get into another one just because of like, you know, they only have so much value. So being totally honest with myself, I come from riding sport bikes and more street oriented motorcycles. I still like the naked street bikes, like the CB 500F, which is my wife's bike that's over here. This bike I absolutely love. I love that styling and I love that like feel to it. So I wanted something that was gonna be, I don't know, more in line that I could ride it in the city, ride it on the highway, ride a motorcycle and be very confident. And also I can like lane split and it would feel totally fine. I wanted something that's like a little bit more narrower and just like a little more compact, if that makes sense. Plus, I still want to take motorcycles with us whenever we go traveling. And we did bring that KTM 890 Adventure across the country. It was on the trailer, but it was a tight fit. Like getting it off, I broke the stock skid plate, reason why I upgraded to the other skid plate. Yeah, so like thinking about that as well, like just being able to have something that I can still bring with us wherever we go is still a nice, appealing idea. So I got something that's gonna be smaller, more compact, definitely more nimbler. As far as like power-wise, it's actually pretty close. It is a different brand than KTM. But you know, power-wise, it's like very comparable. And like even like just riding it, you know, around now, because I've been riding this other bike now for a minute, and yeah, I will say, even though on paper I think on paper it's slower, but in practicality, it feels so much more nimbler, and like the mid-range power, mid to top range power is like better, if that makes sense. So it's just a completely different animal. It's a completely different beast. I'll give you some hints. It is an inline 3-cylinder, which is different versus the parallel twin. Yeah, so it's a cool motorcycle. I'm hoping you guys like it. It's coming up on the channel. I'll be doing more content on that, but don't worry, I'm still gonna be doing all of the overlanding and camping, adventuring content with the KLX 300R and things like that. But at the end of the day, you gotta do what makes you happy. You gotta do what fits your lifestyle. The idea of it is great, but at least right now, I don't think it would have been utilized to its best abilities in my ownership. So have someone else can use it. If there's one thing I'm gonna be that's totally honest with you guys, if I'm not utilizing something to its best of its abilities, I'll let you guys know. And when it's time to move on with something, I'll move on from it. Like I did that with the Corvette, did that with the Focus RS, did that with the Jeep Wrangler, did it with my other truck, did it with other vehicles before in the past. Like if you look at my channel, I have different vehicles and different things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys and let you guys know. But let me know down below. But if you wanna see the last time I took the KTM 890 Adventure off-roading, what that experience was like, check this video out right here. Subscribe for more. We'll see you over there.